G'day guys, welcome to Beyond the Tape, a podcast where we chat to people doing rad things in the mountain bike industry. For this one, we are chatting with a good friend of ours, Mikey Ross. We're kind of catching up to see how his 2023 season went, all the ups and downs, and everything else that's kind of going on in the future, because he's got some big plans. Anyway, without our supporters, this podcast wouldn't be a thing. Supporters like Trek Bikes, helping me out, keeping my bike rolling. Man, I'm absolutely loving that Fuel EX. Frank Mountain Bike Apparel for giving me the best clothes on the market and, supporting the potty, keeping us rolling. Shred Bike Care for keeping the bike clean. Man, I'm loving their waterless wash in these dusty conditions. Fist Handwear for keeping my gloves, keeping my hands protected with their gloves. Taylor Trails, Tasmania, man. I'm looking forward to getting down to Tassie as soon as possible. Maydena Open weekend just happened. So, yeah, hoping to catch up with those boys, making my life easy whenever I go down to Tassie. They can make your life easy too. Lead Out Sports, providing us with the best tools on the market. If you don't know Abbey Tools, then you're doing it wrong. Dirt Surf Australia, keeping all the mud and dust out of my eyes and out of my suspension seals. Capped Out Caps are keeping my stem attached to my bike while looking amazing. Go check them out for some custom caps. And Oakley goggles are an absolute game changer. I suffer from some vision impairment stuff that goes on, and I'm pretty picky with my lenses, and Oakley are absolutely killing it. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked to have these guys on board and keeping us rolling. If you want to let them know that you head over there from the potty, use Beyond the Tape 10, Beyond the Tape 15. One of those codes will get you a bit of a discount, and let them know that you went there from here. Anyway, this is dragging on a bit now, trying to keep these intros slow. So as per usual, grab beer, grab a water, grab a wine, grab whatever makes you happy, and enjoy this potty with the boy, Mikey Ross. Expecting like closer to 30. So
So ours are like just China jobbies, but that's what everyone's running. So
it's not like it's gonna randomly like die on you as you land on it, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Sick. Do you want to jump straight in? You got any questions or anything? Sick. Yeah, well, Mikey Ross, welcome back to the potty. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me back.
Thanks.
Feels like it was forever ago now.
It was, yeah. Thanks for putting up with my time mistakes, which I clearly never make.
No, that's all right. I was running late too.
No, it's all good. So you got a bit to talk about. I kind of want to start from around, I guess, this time last year, or maybe a little bit later, but you decided to go full-time pro?
Yeah. Yep. So start of this year, I realized I don't have any leave left from work. Two, realized that if I quit my job, I get this like redundancy payment that I could put towards riding as well. And three, getting some solid or some coin from some sponsors this year to help out as well. So I thought, why not? Let's try and put everything into it and go for it.
So what's it look like going from, I guess, like a private, you're still kind of a privateer, but what's it mean for you to go like pro? Like, what was the change, I guess, for people that don't know?
Well, I guess with slopestyle free ride, I guess most sort of Crankworx athletes, we don't really have a team to like strive for or to like be hooked up with, and then they take care of everything. So the biggest thing for myself banking a year out of riding is, can I afford it? That's pretty much the first thing that it boils down to, because if you can't get to the event, then how are you meant to make a name for yourself, and how are you meant to prove yourself and stuff like that? So I guess the biggest factor is definitely coin. It is the unfortunate factor, but it is definitely the biggest factor.
So are you basically not earning any money unless you win or do well?
Yeah, so I'm on so 3 sponsors of mine give me like a salary for the year.
Yeah.
That's divided up, whether it's quarterly or monthly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how's that? So you're getting paid that in AUD as well? So you're getting that
In
paid
Aussie dollars, yeah, in Aussie dollars, yeah.
But all the comps are in Europe. So that's got to be a little bit challenging.
It's super tough, and so I had one of my guys, like one of my sponsors, pay me out of his own pocket.
Right.
To keep me happy, and he wanted to help me as much as he could. So he was like, "I'll just pay you out of my own pocket. Like, I'll sort it out. Like, don't worry about it." I'm like, all right, cool, sounds good. Like, you don't have to. That's awesome if you do, but that's cool. So he was, I was grateful for that. And then we also started a GoFundMe, which I was like super hesitant about at first, because like I know how hard people work for their money, and I know people have lots to pay for and blah blah blah. So it took me like probably like 2 or 3 months to like be like, okay, I actually need help. Like, otherwise this isn't going to happen. Like, so yeah, we started the GoFundMe, which took off, and I was like overwhelmed with the support that the whole mountain bike community brought together. And we made enough money to be able to, well, I say we, like all the money went to my travel and my like my accommodation, my flights and food, blah blah. My partner came with me as well, but that wasn't. I just want to make sure everyone knows that I wasn't paying for both of us. It was directly to myself and to support my campaign for the year.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What I guess, like, obviously leaving your job's giving you more time, but how did you kind of structure change for getting ready for all those comps and stuff? Like, if you're not working, is it harder to kind of have a schedule and, you know, not just laze about, or are you so driven that it doesn't really change?
Yeah. So what changed for me was that it took the stress of preparation out of it. So like I would be at work thinking about, all right, this afternoon I have to ride this much and I've got to focus on doing this. And then if the session doesn't go ahead because it's windy, or because I could only ride in the arbors because I started early. So if the session was windy or if it rained in the afternoon, then I would lose time and practice time and stuff like that. So with me being full time, I could pick and choose. Like, I'm like, cool, let's look at the weather. Like, it's going to be sweet as in the morning all week, but in the afternoon, it's going to be windy. Like, cool. All right, well, let's go ride every morning and stuff like that. So we don't have indoor, which sucks, but it's just the way it is. So that was probably the biggest factor. Is it took the stress out of trying to get ready for a competition where I could actually like take my time. I know I've got this many weeks, so I can ride potentially this many days.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Did it make your competition better? Did it make everything a bit smoother?
It definitely took the edge off, for sure. This year I felt a little underprepared. But it wasn't until I got to the contest where I'm like, man, I wish I had more time to do this and this and that. And I think that's one reason of that is because of the way things ended in 2022. So 22 ended in November. So the last Crankworx was in November.
Mm.
And then the first competition again was in March.
Yeah. It was a pretty quick turnaround, eh?
Yeah, so it didn't really feel like I had time to breathe or take a break. I just had to sort of keep grinding. And I think by the time it came around to competitions again, I needed a break, basically.
What was the first comp? Was that Highline? Or
Yeah. So Highline in Victoria was the first contest of the season. Yeah,
and that was a tough one. Yeah, like
it was a tough one. It was tough for everybody. The courses, we needed to work on the courses, and then the wind was there flat out. People were unfortunately crashing, and yeah, we just didn't get enough time on the course to do what we wanted to. But wind, I think, was the biggest factor with that contest for sure.
Yeah, I got a photo of, I think it's Slaney and one of the other guys, and they're walking next to each other, and they both got broken opposite arms, and they're carrying the esky with their good arms. Yeah. Like
and I think it happened like within 10 minutes of each other or something like that, of one and the other. Like, it was just carnage. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it was wild. And then Wrigley went down as well. Like, that was, it was a big weekend for crashes.
Yeah. It was took a pretty heavy toll that week for sure.
Was it? So you were throwing down in that contest pretty hard. Like, it was mind-blowing. Actually, you and Luke Parker were throwing down some big stuff, but you both went out with crashes.
Yeah.
What was your mindset like? You just turned pro, you just quit your job, you're trying to put all this effort in, and then that was your first comp, and it went a little bit less than what you thought.
Yeah. I think I had a bit of a game plan. I had this trick I wanted to do. So I wanted to do this Oppo Kashi. So bad to do.
Right.
Like, so bad. It was just the only thing I could really think about. So my game plan was, I know my run up until this point, I can do every day of the week without fail. Like, Kashi off the boner, I know I've got that. Like, flip tuck, step down, sweet as, flip drop, yep, no worries. Truck to hip, sweet. Fronty soupy, do them every time. So just came down to this last jump where I went, all right, so first run, I'm going for it. Like, I landed good, went in, and just like the lip was a little steeper than I'm used to, and just the timing's a little bit messed up. So I ended up facing completely backwards on the last landing.
That's right. You Kashi fakie.
Like, yeah, Kashi fakie. And then the next run, it all went a little pear-shaped, got blown by the wind, went for Kashi T-bog on the last, and just like was going too slow, basically. I needed way more speed, and crashed out of that as well. And that, like, I think what I took out of that was, I know that I tried what I wanted to try. Like, I think what I also learned was that I don't have to go as hard as what I want to in my own head, but I need to learn to be okay with not going as gnarly as what I know I can. Like, it's a funny one. Like, I wanted to do new shit, and then, but I also wanted to land a sick run as well. So it was like this double-edged sword. So
I think it was like,
sucked.
From the outside, it was quite interesting to hear that, because you're saying you wanted to try all this new shit, but if you compare that run to what you did the year before, where fronty soupy was like your biggest trick, and now you're doing them all the time, and you just flipped a flat drop. You did a bunch of stuff in that run. The progression was pretty wild.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was glad I could keep up with my progression. Like, over the last couple of years, I've sort of spiked a bit, and I wanted to make sure that I stay on that learning side of things. And I was super stoked with my run, even crashing. What I did up until that point, I'm blown away with. And everyone else as well. Like everybody else is insane.
Dude, it was
like
wild.
It's sick. Yeah, it's sick.
Dane, and then Jaden as well.
Yeah.
And Wrigley, like they're all just throwing down now. It's sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super cool to see those boys like coming up, watching their like journey and how they're going about it too. Like a few boys take it a little bit more serious than the others, but people keep it fun. But I think when you get everyone together like that, it just creates this like melting pot of energy, and it's awesome to watch.
It was definitely the funniest champagne like ceremony I've ever witnessed on the podium.
Wasn't it?
Maybe underage kids, maybe trying to open champagne bottles is the best. That was amazing.
Yeah, the top three, it was Dane, Ted, and
it was
I
always forget his name. Hey, he rides Commensal and does the sickest Supermans ever.
Leroy.
Was Leroy. Yeah, funny to drop. Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes. I think like if anyone deserved the podium, would be those three for sure.
I am still here. My camera just decided to die. What did you have after that one? What was the comp after that?
So from there, we drove straight home on the Sunday and then had to fly out on the Monday. It was Monday morning. We flew to Rotorua to Crankworx. The first stop of the season. Yeah,
that was a quick turnaround, eh?
Yeah, like 2 days, not even.
That's ridiculous. Sorry, man. My good camera just died.
So good.
Now I look like full 80 spec bokeh. This is sick. Good day.
There's glamour shots.
Yeah. What was it like on a roto? How was that for you?
Roto's sick. Roto's got a special place for me, really, because it was like the first Crankworx that I got invited to back in 2018, I think. Yeah, I think 2018. So I'm always stoked to go back there. The courses are sick. The people are awesome. Like we got a lot of mates over there. And it's good to meet up with everyone. Like everybody at Crankworx is rad. The people behind the scenes, the riders, the trail crew. Yeah, it's awesome just to go back and meet up with everyone. And the first stop's always good fun and see where everyone's at.
What was your mindset going into that one like for after that kind of average highline? Was it a bit hard to kind of get over there and compete?
To be honest, it was like a breath of fresh air when I got there because I knew I only had to do like 2 trips and didn't have to put a whole run together. So the first event I did was dual slalom qualifying and practice. So I just hopped on my bike and just went as fast as I could, and it was so much fun. Like, and I just was completely relaxed. Like it relaxed my whole, everything after doing that. Like I love doing tricks and stuff, whatever, but I freaking love racing as well. Like, going fast is fun as so. It was good to shake it up and take a breath and just go fast and not have to worry about anything too technical.
Was Slope Speed and Style was your first race, wasn't it?
Speed and Style was the first competition. Yeah. So we did dual slalom practice and qualifying on the first day. And then I think we went into Speed and Style practice on the same day in the afternoon. And then There's like pump track in the middle there somewhere, and then speed and style.
But even like for your first Crankworx, you got invited for speed and style over slope style?
Yeah, my first one. Yeah. So speed and style was my first, like, because you had to be invited to invited athlete event. So sent a bunch of emails, asked a bunch of people for help, and they're like, "Yep, come along." Sweet. Took a trail bike and went nuts.
Did you expect to be winning it 5 years later? 4 or 5 years later?
No. Like, to be completely honest, like, it is I want to say the hardest, like, discipline that there is. And I think I made it harder by upping the level of tricks that everyone has to do. I had someone say that to me at Innsbruck. They're like, this is your fault. And I'm like, what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Like, I'm just doing my thing. So it's a interesting one. Well, I forgot what the question was.
I was just asking about what it's like to win it after 5 years, but
winning it, yeah. So getting a medal for starters was like, I never thought it was gonna happen. Well, like, I wanted it to happen, so I just worked towards any medal. Didn't care. First, second, third, just a podium would be sick. Like,
which
one podium.
You got that last year?
I got last year. I got third in Innsbruck. Yeah, so that was insane. But going into this again, I had no expectation on like where I was going to finish, and my mindset and my strategy, same as always, is like, just ride your lane, ride your own race. Like, don't worry about whatever else is happening over in the lane next to you, or like, do your tricks and go as fast as you can. Don't do anything fancy. Don't change anything from practice. Like, just keep it the same. And I was just on that day. Like, I don't want to say it felt easy, but it felt like I was doing good, and I'm like, cool, if I just keep doing my thing, each run, and then it wasn't until we got to the was I against Lemoyne first round? No, second round. So I think I was against Bath first round, like top 8. I think. And then it wasn't until I got through that I looked who I was up against next, and it was Lemoyne. So I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, that's pretty much a death sentence for anyone in speed and style. But I'm like, oh, well, here we go. Like, just do your thing. Like, head down. We had a good chat in the gates, and he was stoked to be racing me, and I was stoked to be racing him as well. So
that's sick.
It was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome experience. And then, he unfortunately made a couple mistakes, and that's all it takes to get knocked out. And I just happened to keep it perfect every time.
And then your finals is against Cade.
Cade, dude.
You're just like, God dang it.
What a ledge. That's, for starters, what a ledge. Second of all, if there's anyone that I want to win a speed and style, is him.
True.
Like, I'm like, this is your domain. Like, and I have no doubt it'll happen, no doubt. But
I feel like
that's
he
what I mean.
Unofficially wins it at every World Cup. Like,
every
highlight.
Did you watch the juniors today? Everyone's doing tricks now, like, down their runs. Like,
it's sick.
It's sick. It's so sick. He is like changing. He's changing downhill without even meaning to change downhill. Like, it's so sick. And it's like, you look on the highlight reels. Like, what was it? The last downhill event in France. And
Leger. Yeah.
Leger. And he had a crash at the top. So he was just doing this awesome stuff down, like a nose manual down the bridge and stuff. And you look on the highlight reels, and it's all just Cade doing stuff. Like, I'm like, well, there you go. He's having fun. People at home want to see people having fun. Like, and I hope that rubs off on more people, because I think we need to bring a bit more, dial down the seriousness a touch and dial up the fun a tiny bit more.
100%.
Like,
yeah,
I think
bikes are fun.
Bikes are so fun. So I feel like, yeah, he is changing the sport single-handedly. And I told him, like, I'm like, dude, there's like, I want you, like, every time this is on, like, I want you to win. And then all of a sudden we're like battling each other. Like, yeah, it was an insane experience. And we get to the bottom, and it was like a thing with the flags or something. We didn't know at the top. So at the top, I still think I am ahead by a bit, but like according to what was broadcast, I wasn't. But that's cool. We didn't know, like we didn't really care. We just wanted to finish it.
Yeah,
because it had been a super long day, as they always are. But yeah, again, small mistake, and yeah,
so sick.
I managed to be the most consistent of the day and threw down the biggest tricks I could, and yeah, that was enough.
You've got to be the only dude throwing like scrub cashies. Like,
yeah, they're definitely not intentional, for sure.
How are they not intentional?
I don't know. I can just roll about. I don't know, because I can like do them, speed them up, and then like, yeah, like I do them different on different size jumps. So I just like make sure it's like the the feeling depending on the air time. So if the air time's bigger, I do it the same on that. Like, yeah, it's a I don't know how they work, and well, I do, but I don't know how I accidentally learnt them, and then how I'm this good at doing them. I just don't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Because it's kind of like your trick now, like realistically.
I don't know. That other people can say that.
Nah. When did you do the flat drop on? Was that last year?
I did that last year. Yeah. Silver Star last year.
That was silly.
Yeah. So I was at I got invited to Brett's house, and he had like a flat drop to an airbag. So I was riding with Haz and Robin. And I was like, oh, you know what? I was doing some flat drop flips and just sort of checking them off. I was like, oh, let's try this. Let's see what happens. Launched one, landed, wheels down, first go, pointing in the right direction, everything. So I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I was expecting it to be such, like, way more of a battle than what it was. And I did about 10 more, every single one, wheels down, wheels down, wheels down. Like, well, that was easy. Like, yeah. So the next, I think it was 2 or 3 days later. Can't quite remember timeline. 2 or 3 days later, it was like the end of our second practice on the course, and I'm like, well, this is the perfect drop for it, and this is the safest it's going to ever be. It's the landing's the right steepness, wide enough, the drop's high enough, running's good, everything like that. So in my head, I went, do I do it now and potentially do something awesome, or do I wait another 12 months and do it when I'm back again? And in my head, I just couldn't really pass up the opportunity, so I took it. And yeah, a couple of run-ins and little testers, and sent one. Yeah, I landed like it was like sort of high, and just sort of like spat me off, but then I just sort of slid out, so it wasn't too bad. But blew a rear tire first run, first attempt. Blue red tube tire was fine. So I grabbed a tube, put it back in. So it was like probably 15 minutes later. All right, well, get myself psyched up again. Let's go again. Same thing, except it didn't blow. It didn't blow a tire or a tube this time. So I was like, cool, I'm closer. I'm closer. Went again, same thing. And the boys were like, oh, it's because the landing's dry. So they had their water bottles, like the volunteers there doing the marshalling.
Yeah,
So they got
right.
their water bottles out and anything they could to like wet the landing out. And, yeah, help me out. And I seriously think it helped because of the next one, bang, landed, rode away. Yeah, it was the most insane thing ever.
It looked like you were landing on marbles at some points. Like it looks so slippery.
Yeah, it was dry. It was dry for sure. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah.
Who built those wheels?
Who did build those wheels?
Was it Kai?
No, I think I built these ones.
Can you build some wheels for me?
Kai's built the ones I got now.
Okay.
My carbon ones, yeah. Which I've put through even more hell than that one for sure.
I don't know how they survived, hey. Like after even like the second one, I was like, those wheels must be pringled.
Yeah, it was pretty buckled, don't get me wrong. But it was probably due to me not maintaining it as well as I could have. But I don't think anything would really survive that type of force on that sort of angle.
No. And what was it like? Was that doing that and seeing it blow up on the internet? Was that a catalyst to wanting to give it your all for 24?
I always wanted to
okay,
give it everything.
Yeah,
it was just the opportunity game. Like everything sort of just lined up just enough that I could at least make it to like August. I'm like, cool, if I make it to August, then I'll come home and go back to work. I don't care. If I can at least make it to there, and then I'll figure it out from there. So I just sort of took the chance, and yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Where did you go from Rotorua? What was after that?
After Roto was Cairns in it was 4 5 weeks later.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Cairns.
And you did pretty well there, from what I remember. And you got the wild card for the slope, right?
Yeah, I got first alternate. So that's like basically the backup rider. If someone gets injured or doesn't want to ride or pulls out or is sick or something, then I get bumped up into the big show. So that was a pretty epic moment getting that email. I was sitting I don't even know, 40 something in the world tour rankings.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone was in Germany that weekend because there was a big gold contest in Germany. So all the riders above me were in Germany. So it just happened to be that I was staying in the country for Crankworx. So everyone else was in Germany, and then I was able to make it to be an alternate, it's a long way for people to come just to be an alternate, especially if you're coming from Europe. So yeah, I was stoked to get the invite and get to experience everything and get the little special slope style sticker that people get. I think that was the highlight. I'm like, yo, got one of these fancy stickers. But yeah, it was awesome to ride the course because, man, I don't even know if any other Aussie will ever be able to ride that course. So basically all I'm doing is saying yes to every opportunity that comes in front of me. And so far it's been awesome.
That competition looks pretty different to everything else. The speed and style track looked a bit different, and the slope style course was a bit out there compared to everything else. How did the track kind of ride and feel for both?
So I'll start with the slope. The slope course is sort of on the more technical side of courses for sure. It's not the biggest, definitely. Innsbruck's quite big, but it's also like Innsbruck. I rode and did a full lap top to bottom, pretty much straight away. Like I followed one of my mates, Peter, down, and I just hit the next one, sweet, hit the next one, hit the next one, hit the next one. Everything worked so perfectly. But yeah, Cairns is a bit more technical, a bit more broken up, and it had a few more options, like gapping the whole thing at the front at the start, which is like actually way better than going on and off. And
it
then
did look that way.
Yeah, it's definitely more fun for sure. Like the on-offs, it's alright, but it's sort of small, and that's the way you see like all the moves that went down are sort of a little bit more technical. There's only 2 straight jumps on the whole thing. There's like a step up into the wooden kicker thing that's quite skinny, so people were sort of dialing it back a bit there. Yeah, it's definitely one of the most unique courses that is on tour for sure.
Were people struggling with it? It seems something like the Swedes would froth, like Fredrickson and that crew.
Yeah, for sure. Like everything they were doing, like on the little flat sub box thing was insane. Like bar up, bar tuck down, like just quick hands sort of stuff. And then the quarter pipe stuff they're real good at too, like 540 combos, etc. But yeah, when it comes down to the actual finals runs, they were very, very simplified compared to, I think, what you would normally see. So like, and the jumps are like the dirt pipe, like one lip was different to the other. So depended if you wanted to hit this lip, you had to air that quarter and then come back. And then if you wanted to do the other lip, you had to gap out of that quarter and then come across. So yeah, there's so many options, which I think is awesome, and I think it definitely needs to be more options in a slope style line to sort of bring it to life more. What the riders want, I'm not sure. It's probably a 50-50 mix between more technical and bigger jumps, but I think as long as everything's safe and works, number one, works well, is great. And I think the trail crew did an awesome job, and they listened to the riders. We cut like a foot off the lip of the last jump. Because we didn't have the speed to go all the way up and over. So when we cut that off, it changed that whole jump and opened up so much. So just by changing something like that can really help. And I think having people that are willing to accept changes and accept the feedback makes all the difference for sure.
100%. I mean, people threw down, like double flip over that step on, step off thing. And
Bring is insane.
I don't know what Regatkin was going to do on that, but I wanted to see so bad. Like,
you'll see it. You'll see it. He'll have a vendetta against it or something.
But like, it looked like a sitcom. It looked fun.
Super fun. Yeah, super fun. Super fun to be a part of as well, and hang out with everyone, and wet your ringer off.
And the speed and style course, man, those bottom corners look what dreams were made of.
Yeah, the speed and style course
except for Baxter.
So sick. Except for Baxter, poor bugger, rip his wrist. He's back on the bike soon. Actually, that'd be good.
Very quick, very soon. How did that ride? That looked really fun.
The speed and style course is super sick. And what I really liked about the speed and style course, or what I liked about the one in Aussie was, I got to see the crew like ride the course as well.
Mm.
So it was really interesting to see how they, like, you could tell the guys that had like a bit of DH background or had like a racer background or were mostly focused on doing tricks. And then you had guys like Jaden just full sending.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool to see those guys attack the course and have fun with the rest of us. Basically, that was really fun. The corners, like the rhythm section down into those corners, is like probably one of the funnest things I've ever hit on the hardtail for sure. Like you come out of so out the gate, round a small sort of fadeaway roller, first berm, then you got first big jump. Get your jump done, land, and then you got to hit these corners like so fast to carry your speed to hit this shark fin gap that's over this valley, like over this thing onto the flat of a tabletop, like a supercross sort of gap on. Then you got to gap off, and then you got to gap over the rock garden, which is kind of the most pointless rock garden in the world, but it looks cool. But you gap all the way over this rock garden, and if you really want to, you can gap all the way into the corner.
Yeah, right.
And land in the corner. So I was just gapping into the corner every time because I thought it was sick just to like gap all the way and then land and just tip it in as hard as you can. Just yeah, super sick.
Because they were pretty much like vert, right? Like they look, you could bar drag in them.
Oh, they had to be. If they were like your regular Australian bike park berm, you wouldn't even catch her, like, mate, you'd be over the top of the thing.
What are you trying to say, man?
I'm saying Australians are up their berm game. That's all I'm saying.
100%. Yeah. Dude, come to Adelaide. And you won't understand how bad some berms can be built. It's the worst. And I don't mind saying that. But you got third there, man.
It's not the worst. It's just what we got, and
I'm not out there building them, so I can't say too much.
No, that's it. And like, I got my own shit to build in the backyard, so I'm not doing it either.
You came third in that race?
Third, it was really it was sick. It was so cool to get a podium at the home, like at the Australian Crankworx. Like that was really special. Has obviously winning it is even better. That's sick. It was her birthday as well, which is even better than that. So again, another medal in the same year when I didn't even think I was going to get one medal ever in the history of whatever. Getting another one is like it didn't change how I felt about like getting the first one.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So like getting more than one doesn't change how I felt about getting another. And like winning one didn't feel any different than getting the third. Like they're all like super, because I know how hard it is because I've been doing it for like a couple of years, and I know it's like super cutthroat, and you make one small mistake and boom, you're done. Day's over. Like it's a battle of inches, and it's a battle of wits, and it's a battle of stamina, and it's once again, I reckon it's probably the hardest discipline that's out there for sure.
That's pretty cool to hear, because once someone gets first, usually in like a competitive field, then that's all they will ever want again. So when you get third, it feels like you've lost, but realistically, if you like what you're doing, like if you look back 5 years, then that medal was probably the best thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Like everything, even making live finals is still amazing to me. Like you've made the top 8 of everybody that's here. You're in the top 8 of that whole field. And I think it's yeah. Again, it's so difficult, and I'm not just saying that. Like, it's, like you see, so for example, Garrett, who won Cairns,
Mm.
it's his first goal, first win, and
That's
he's a
right.
beast. Like, he's good at tricks and he's fast as, but that's his first win, and it's only now, and he's been doing it for a long time as well.
It's
So that just proves how hard it is, and it even proves even more how gnarly Thomas Lemoyne is.
Yes. Yeah, because he is the goat for that speed and style, right?
Yeah, hands down.
Which is it is. I think he's a very I don't know, kind of underrated rider, but he doesn't seem to be in the media much until he's at a competition.
Yeah, he's just so low key about it. Like, he's not in your face doing crazy stuff. Like, he's good. Good guy.
So, you went to Innisbrook after that and got sixth and had a pretty good time there.
Yeah, super fun.
What was after that? Was that random competition in a mine?
So that was a week before that. So that was in the Czech Republic. So it was called Irontown.
Sick.
In Ostrava in the Czech Republic. And we get there and we Google the place and we're like, one of the most dangerous places in Czech Republic, Ostrava. We're like, oh, what have we got ourselves into? But it was fine. It was, it wasn't, we didn't really have any bad experiences or anything. But that place is insane. Like, it's literally an old coal processing plant mine thing. And they have we finished practice one day and there was a full music festival thing going on in another area of it.
Yes.
Like, it's crazy. And and you can just explore through there as well. We went up to the top of the viewing tower and you can see it's so high and it's so gnarly. Like, there's no way anything like that would be open in Australia. No way. Like, it is so sketchy. It was fine, but foreign country and just death everywhere. Like, you take one wrong step and you a railing breaks. Like, you're falling hundreds of meters to the ground. Like, this thing is so high. I can't get over how high it was. And there's a cafe at the top. There's this bar at the top as well. It was so sick. It was such an interesting spot. They're going to have it again next year. So it should be good.
Out of everything I saw this year, that was the one event I wanted to go photo. I saw that and I was like, that it looks fucking wild.
Yeah, it was super sick. Super sick. I think next year they're going to have, they were talking about having a bit of it. You come out of a section of the building and then drop down and stuff like that. But it was super cool. And the roll in was just a scaffold roll in with the wrap around it. Metal kicker to scaffold landing with dirt boxed into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then next one was the same, quarter pipe. Then you walk through the crowd up to the next section and you drop in there. There's another little roll in to a spine, to a step down off the top of this building into another scaffold dirt landing, and then around into another kicker to another dirt landing. Yeah, super sick setup.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, there are a few people there too, is that right?
Yeah, so all the Aussie crew is there. So me, Luke, Lenny, Andy, who else is there? And then just all the Euros, and some guys from the UK. Yeah, stuff like that.
So sick.
Yeah.
And then you went to Innisbrook, or was that?
Yeah, and then Innsbruck. So
Yeah.
we left like the day after again. We left pretty much straight away. Busted down, caught a flight, the whole Europe thing anyway, and ended up in Innsbruck a week later.
Yeah. Then, like, you did okay at Innisbrook, 6th in speed and style or whatever, but
Yeah.
and that was a hectic schedule all the way up until then. And then you went to Roof Ride.
Yeah, so then Roof Ride was a weekend after that. So at this point, it'd been 3 weekends in a row of like contest.
So that's hectic.
Yeah, and not just contests, like slope contests as well, which extra gnarly.
Did
Yeah.
that's like a hectic schedule. But was Roof Ride like invite only? Yo.
Broke it.
Yo.
I broke it. Sorry.
You broke it.
Yeah.
You broke the internet.
Yep.
About time.
What time might do?
What was I gonna say? What was
After Innsbruck?
so yeah, after Innsbruck you had Roof Ride, right? What was is that invite only?
Invite only. So Roof Ride is a FMB Gold. So that's the top 32 riders. So the top 32 riders in the world of FMB get invited, basically. And then if people say no, it goes down top 33, 34, blah, 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 till you get an invite. So it's probably closer to the top 50, taking out like the top sort of Crankworx guys most of the time. So it's probably down to about 50th that you get at a gold event.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was in Katowice in Poland. Yep.
How high are those roofs that you're riding? Like, what's the kind of scene there? Like it definitely looks different.
The drop off the roof. So the drop off the roof is probably only the same size drop as the one at Silver Star.
Okay.
So it's probably 4 meters down, 4.5 out, something along those lines. But the drop from the top of the roof where you ride off to the actual pavement on the ground was probably, oh man,
it looked fucking huge.
it'd be like 5-6 stories or something.
It's wild.
Like it was so high. And like when you land off the drop at the top as well, you land onto this runway into the next big jump, right? But that first runway is 8 foot off the ground still.
Yeah.
So there's like there's like another drop if you get it wrong. So like you can land and then you still have another drop off of that. But most of the time you just hit the jump because it works like perfectly. Yeah, so the course to ride is actually very simple and like very safe. But it looks super impressive, and it's definitely another unique one for sure.
They definitely know how to do it different over there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how they get around half their red tape over there, but they're doing a good job of it.
So you had a hugie in practice, or was it qualifying for that one?
First run of qualies, yeah. So Cashy the step down, which is
of course
pretty sick.
Yeah.
Second time I've done it. I did one in practice, so I'm like, oh yeah, sweet, that works. Cool. Cashy the step down, flip can, then around, just gapped over the tabletop, flip drop, running soupy over the big long one, which is like pretty awesome. I saw a footage of that the other day. Actually, it's like, whoa, that is actually massive.
Dude, that thing sent you to the moon.
Yeah, freaking humongous. And then went double flip on the second last and just over rotated. So as I landed, it like slammed my front wheel down, which like bucked me over the bars.
Mm.
And then I just landed flat on like the concrete, like because it's just on the street, right? So it just landed like flat on the concrete and broke like the top of my, like the crest of my hip off.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I was like pretty, like I went to get up and I was just like, could not get up. Like, this is not good. I just like had a sigh of relief and just rolled over. I'm like, all right, take me away, boys. Like, get me out of here.
Was it painful?
Yeah. It was pretty painful, for sure.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk or anything. Like I went to get up off the hospital bed and like nearly passed out.
Fuck. That's
I was in a wheelchair for like 4 weeks.
Were you pretty devastated? Or were you just like, okay, I guess
it was definitely a hard one to take for sure. Like I wanted so much, but I didn't need to do it. Like I didn't need to double flip that jump. Like I could have just done another flip combo that was just as good. Like not just as good, but like enough. And I think that's what I have gotten out of this whole experience was you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Like you just do enough. Like, and then if it works out, sweet. Don't like I've done a million double flips, like so many double flips, and this one was super cruisy and just a small miscalculation. Like it could have happened on a regular flip. That's the thing too. Like I keep going back and forth between like, should I have done something different or should I have done this? And I think I'll just go around in circles beating myself up if I try and figure it out. But I was always going to do it with part of my run. There's no way I'm going to change my mind going into a jump because it would have made it even worse. So sweet, that's what I did. I know it was a real long kicky ramp. It was like a 15-foot lip or something. So I know go slow, like super slow, like do one and then do another one. And I pulled like, first one probably pulled a little bit hard. So I like opened up a little bit. And as I come around for the second one, I'm like, a bit too much. So I like extended out to put the landing gear down. It was just like a little bit too much. And then just over the bars. Yeah.
You've done like, I've seen you do doubles and they're dialed. So like,
I know. I keep going back and forth between like.
So it's just going to happen. Like it's one of your most dialed tricks. Like it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to happen. So yeah, it was a tough one to take for sure. And then, definitely made me rethink. About a lot of things really, like being that injured again. Definitely takes a toll for sure. But hasn't like dampened my spirits or anything about getting on with it. But just sort of you just learn as you go.
You ended up in some sort of 1970s time warp. European
it was hell. Oh my god! I think that's probably what scares me the most about it. The whole thing was like,
I saw that and I'm like, are you in a white coat or some shit? Like,
dude, I wish I was. And I wouldn't know I was there. Polish hospitals are not fun. So it was like definitely back in time. Like it was crazy. So rock in there. It was on like a Friday afternoon, and they're like, "Oh yeah, cool. We'll have someone see you on Monday." I'm like, "Monday? Like, what doing? Like, what's going on?" Like, no, we have weekends here, and they go home, and They don't work on the weekends. I'm like, oh, cool, sick. So I got to stay in bed for 2 days that I don't need to be.
That's fucking wild.
Just so I can get out of here. Like, yeah. So after that experience, I don't think I'll ever complain about the health system we have here. We got a free dial. Even if you got to wait ages, it ain't that long, trust me.
The food looked pretty good too. Like that.
The food, oh my god. I was actually talking to Fletcher this morning. I sent him some photos of the food that I had in hospital, like bread and some slices of ham, and then bread and I'm not talking fresh bread, I'm talking like stale hospital bread.
Sick.
And then like a service station hot dog that had been there for like a week. And then like some more bread. Like it was the most, I'm like, is this for real? Like, am I going to, like, yeah. It was a crazy experience. Hopefully I'll never have to experience it again, but it was an experience and it's a fun sort of story to tell for sure.
How long were you in there for?
3-4 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it seem like a lot longer?
Oh, it seemed like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was insane.
And then
I was
you fly
lucky
home
I
after that?
had Kat there with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we booked it home as fast as we could. We booked this flight. It was like 27 hours total travel from Poland to Sydney, which is insane.
So were you in a cast, or like did they do anything to fix you, or?
Nah, so luckily what happened, they don't like fix.
Okay.
They just sort of let it, sort of like what they used to do with collarbones, like they just sort of leave them. So it had nothing to do with my joint or anything. So it was up the top. So that top sort of where your belt sort of sits on. So yeah, they don't do anything. So I basically just sat there in hospital waiting for them to discharge me. We bought a wheelchair because I couldn't walk. So we bought a wheelchair off them, which was surprisingly cheap. It was like 300 Aussie or something for a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I was expecting like 1,000 Aussie, like so much more.
I mean, it's from the 50s, so
depreciation
and all that.
Steam powered and had like timber and stuff like that. Yeah,
had to hand crank the electronics.
Yeah. But all in all, it was pretty sick. Good trip, good year. I'm pretty sure. I feel like I did my job as a rider, like putting myself out there, riding as many Crankworx as I could get to, winning one, which is insane, podiuming at another one, which is insane even more. Getting to ride the slopestyle course, doing well at the events overseas, and then injuries are just part of the game we play, unfortunately. So, but we still got the second half of this year. Well, it's nearly October now.
Yeah.
We got some exciting sort of things on the horizon out here, and hopefully I can capitalize on that as well.
Did you use your downtime with that injury to think about a few things and work out what you're going to do for next year?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely did. It's kind of what I tossed up the most, for sure. I feel like every rider does. They go, is it worth it? Like, is it worth it, basically? And I keep coming back to, well, I'm never going to be able to do this again. So, like, why wouldn't I try and do it? I could do it more, do it again. Like, it's now or never, literally. So why wouldn't you make the most of that?
And I mean, Cam thinks like 900 years old and still going. So
yeah.
Well, I think he released his retirement video today, but I don't know if it's real. So
Oh yeah, the one in Hawaii. I didn't watch
yeah,
that.
You got the compound getting built for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're moving ahead. We're setting up a little training facility for us down here. It won't be just for me. Like I want to get everybody and anyone out here.
Mm.
Like they're more than welcome. Once we get it up and running, let me know.
Ability willing. Yeah.
Ability willing. Big flat airbag if you're up. Sweet as.
Yep.
So we bought 2 airbags. We got a lander bag, and a flat bag. So we can have the 2 sort of stages of progression. From there, we've built just a run in and stuff like that out in the paddock. And then the plan is from here, we're building a line, like a full slope line. It'll be big bike friendly, of course. Like basically, if it doesn't work on a big bike, then it won't work on a slopey. So I want to make it fun, pretty much for anybody.
Yeah.
I want to make it safe, and basically be able to have people out and they can experience like what it is to be like on a course like this, and just get some time to ride and stuff like this. Like there's hardly any of these spots around, and we're in like a pretty good spot where we are. Like we're not far off the highway to Sydney, so like if they're coming down to Thredbo for the weekend or whatever, they could do a day here, keep going, do a day in Thredbo. They could do that in a weekend like quite easily. Stuff like that. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can help everybody. Like I want to provide what I needed, like when I started, if that makes sense. So I want to make sure that the next group of guys coming through can have that time on these facilities without having to go overseas, basically. Because overseas has it. Why can't we have it? So I'll do it.
And it's kind of hard, right? Like we've only got Ramfest. It's like a indoors thing now because bike park, big air bike park shut down, unfortunately. But and now I can't think of any other like bigger compounds or anything where you can actually just go and hit an airbag. Like
nah, it's it's a funny one with that whole thing. But it's expensive. Like it's not cheap. And you need the space and the land and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Everything on top of that. So
yeah, that's sick. You got any big tricks in the works?
Honestly, not really.
No.
I haven't even ridden the hardtail yet since I've been home. Like I went for a bit of a trail ride at like 5, 6 weeks after I got injured. But now I'm back into the full swing of things at the gym. Been riding a whole bunch of downhill.
Sick.
I feel like I missed out on the Canada portion of my trip where I was just going to live on the big bike. So I've just been making up time on that for now until we get this stuff running, probably in the next couple of days anyway.
I heard you want to take out their title at Vic DH round 1.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
Barjag, mate. Can't wait. That track. I rode that track in 2019. Rode Barjag, and it was like one of the funnest tracks I've ever ridden. So keen to go back and see what I remember.
Get the W.
Get the W.
Are you going to be doing more tucks in your downhill runs again?
Where's a good tuck in Barjag? There's like a launch into a rock garden from what I remember.
Dude, you did one off a roller at Thredbo. Like, that was so silly.
Yeah.
Was it like a little kicker?
Yeah, it was like the triple into like the wall ride.
That's right.
Like
Yeah,
just triple. I was just suing at every run.
it was the lowest suey I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it was quick. Yeah, because you're moving, and then you also got to like make the jump.
Are you planning on doing the same competitions and stuff next year, or you haven't even thought that far ahead?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna do some more big bike stuff for sure.
Rampage
Yeah, I plan on
24.
doing Rampage 24. Bring it on. Nah. Yeah, those boys are another level.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to do some more big bike events, like some like big jump stuff, and yeah, I've just been frothing the big bike lately, so I'll probably try and transfer a few skills over and see what I can come up with.
The Fest series.
Yeah, I'll be sick. That'll be good fun.
Just had to mute myself for the dogs and forgot I did that. Yeah, sick, man. Is there anything else you want to come chat about, or is there anything I've missed? I'm trying to remember.
No, you covered everything.
Yeah.
Can't really think of anything more.
Are you going back to work for 24, or are you still?
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I I have been working. Like I'm doing cashies here and there.
Cash rolls, right? Just off of gutters and stuff for the kids.
Yeah. You know, typical 9 to 5 stuff. Yeah, just to keep bills paid. To be perfectly honest, like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the next couple of months bring, and mate, I've always got my car here I can sell, so there's a couple grand there I can get overseas with again. At least make it to Roto and go from there.
Exactly. Sweet, man. Wrap it up with the usual 3 questions, I think. What advice would you give to anyone that wants to travel the world and ride their bike?
What advice would I give? I would say number 1 would be always try and swindle the air companies with baggage as much as you can.
Yeah.
Use every trick you have in the book. I would say make the choice on what you want to do by how you would feel if you lost the race or lost the contest.
Yeah.
So would going there be enough? Would riding in that race, that experience, would that be enough for you? If that answer is yes, then 100% go for it, because only good things can come from that.
Yeah. That's sweet. Is there anything you regret doing other than double back yet?
Yeah, that's pretty, I wouldn't say regret, but it's definitely like a bit of a bummer. But anything I regret? Can't say I have any. I've always like looked on the bright side of things and taken every opportunity that landed in front of me. So yeah, I don't think I regret anything.
And this is my favorite question for you, because I've seen some of your music choices when you're trying to get amped up.
Here we go.
Yeah, what do you kind of listen to when you need to get amped up, or you're dropping in or something?
So it changes around a bit depending on my mood, as it would. If you need hype up, you hype up music. But the one that I listened to before Roof Ride was Led Zeppelin, The Immigrant Song.
Yeah, sick. I was listening to that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, just the intro to that is like the sickest thing. That, and we also, when we were overseas, we were in Sweden, and we all went to the movies in Sweden. and we watched the third Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So like that soundtrack's also been heavily played as well.
Sick. You love music from movies, hey?
Yeah, I
think
love
I'm
it.
noticing.
Yeah. I think when it's used properly, and like I think about how they use that, and
Yeah.
sort of picture myself doing
Sick.
stuff to that music.
That's so rad.
Yeah.
Easy, man. I better let you go because apparently Kat is hungry. She just sent me a photo from outside your door, which is real creepy. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, man. I know it's been hectic and everything, so
No
appreciate it.
worries. All good. Thanks for having me again.
That's all good, man. I'll drop this soon, and yeah, hopefully you have a sick week. We'll speak soon.
Yeah, should be good.
Easy, boss. Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to that one again, guys. That was real cool chat. I love chatting to Mikey. I love what he's doing, and man, he's just progressing the sport so selflessly. It's such an inspiration, and dude, if anyone else can support the sport and get that positivity out there, then definitely do it. Take some leaves out of Mikey's books. Thanks to our supporters as usual, Trek Bikes Australia, absolutely love what they're doing. Frank Mountain Bike Apparel, Shred Bike Care, Fist Handwear, Taylor Trails, Lead Out Sports, Dirt Surfers, Capped Out Caps, Oakley. Don't forget to use Beyond Tape 10, Beyond the Tape 15, or Beyond the Tape Straight, just to let them know that you jumped over there from the potty. If you want to support the podcast, jump over to our merch store, beyondtape.com. Or just spread the word, tell your mum, tell your nana, tell Helen Mirren, tell whoever, and let them know about the potty. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, and until the next one, have a bunch of fun.